Oh, hi there, Peter here, CEO and founder of SailPro, back with another instructional video on how to get the best out of SailPro in your yacht racing. I had a customer come to us the other day and say, how do I get the course information into SailPro so that it's ready for me when the race committee selects the course that they're going to choose for the day? And that's what I'm going to show in this video. But just to explain the scenario a little bit, this happens everywhere. Every Saturday afternoon around the world, this same issue happens. Typically what happens over a series of yacht racing is the yacht club will create some sailing instructions, and in that sailing instructions, they'll have a list of all their marks, their course marks. Most of them are going to be fixed marks, but some could be inflatables or what have you, but typically they're fixed marks and they're entered into the sailing instructions. Here's all the marks that we're going to use in this series. And then underneath that, they'll have all their courses. And so a yacht club could have 20, 30 courses, right, in there. And then they're all basically listed out, right? And so you've got the course marks and then you've got all the courses. And so the question is, you know, what typically would happen is you would get that, you might print it out, you might put it in a plastic manila folder, or you might have it on your phone, which is a bit small, and then the race committee will pull up the flag and say, right, we're doing course number 3. You'll quickly open up the pages and look for course number 3, and you go, oh yeah, we've got to go to RG1, and then RG5, and which one, we've got to leave that to port, and we've got to leave this one to starboard. And so you've got to keep referring to it, right? And you've got to lock it all up in here. Well, SailPro helps fix that problem, because what it allows you to do is create all those courses inside SailPro. And then when the race committee pulls up the course flag, we're going course number 3, you just click load course number 3 and bang, all your marks are in SailPro, all your directional headings, all your, the time it's going to take to get there, your variation, what the next leg true wind angle, all that stuff is ready to go. All right, so it's really super quick. You can just basically see the course flag, open it up, and bang, you got all the course information. You don't have to look back. You don't have to remember to leave this mark to port, this mark to starboard. It's all basically in there ready to go. And so there's 2 ways that you can do that in SailPro. One is you can upload it using a CSV file. All right, so you can actually create it. We've got a template for it. You can grab all those course marks, latitude and longitude, plus all the course sequence, and you can import that using a CSV file. But there's actually an easier way to do that, and that's to use our scan course feature, which what it does, it enables you to basically take a photo of your sailing instructions with your phone, and then it will use our AI to interpret all that and then create the courses for you, just like that. And it's really cool, and it's really quite easy to do. You do need to understand a few little things. All right, we're trying not to confuse it. And so what I'm going to do is show you in this video a very typical scenario that you would probably see out there, and how to use it and help you understand what's the best way to do it so that you can do it really quickly. All right, so with that, let's get going. Okay, so let's get going. Let's jump into it. Okay, so a few comments on how to do this, but more importantly, making sure that the data is correct, so that when the app scans, uploads it to the AI, it's basically pretty close in a format that it's kind of neat to. And so just a few comments on that. So this is the spreadsheet that the existing SailPro user sent to me, and you can see that these are the marks, okay? And so you can see we've got the mark names down here on the left-hand side, but we've also got descriptions next to them. Now, it's up to you. You can leave it like that if you want. The AI should be good enough to be able to extract those as the marks, the actual CB1, LM2, those sorts of things. And then we've got the latitude and the longitude, all right? But what's missing here is to basically, the AI will determine which one's latitude, which one's longitude, because it's smart enough to read the numbers. But what's missing here for this example is the minus in front of the latitude. And because these marks, which I know are in the southern hemisphere, we need the negative there. Otherwise, it's not going to calculate it correctly, all right? So it's very important that you have those types of things. You'll also notice that these marks, their lats and longs are in what we call decimal degrees. You can have them in either format, all right? So the AI is smart enough to interpret which one's which, and I'll show you how it kind of does that, how we make it aware of that. But in this case, they've got them in decimal degrees, which is a good start, all right? So if I took a photo of this using the scan tool, it's not going to work because there's no negative there, right? And that's probably the prime issue that I've got there. So what I've done is I have, and if you give me a second, where have I done that? I've basically copied the information from here, and I put it into a spreadsheet, which is here. And then I put a negative in front of all the latitudes, and I marked it, mark latitude, longitude, all right? So this is a much better format to be taking a photo of. Okay, so if you've got that and you haven't got a negative there, then you need to do something about that. Otherwise, it's not going to work. All right. And then the other thing is, this user of ours has sent the actual sailing instructions to us. Okay, and so these are the course. So you can see this is classic sailing instructions. All right. So if we, in fact, I'm not 100% sure whether they've actually got the marks in their sailing instructions. They might be in here somewhere, but it's typically that's what you'll find is the yacht clubs put all the latitudes and longitudes as a table in the sailing instructions, but they may not have. Okay, and so this user's basically created their own table, as you saw, put that into a spreadsheet, put the negative in there, and then here's all the courses. Okay, so we've got course A, we've got course C, course D, and so on. Now, what happens is that when you go to do this, you take a photo of the marks, latitudes and longitudes, and then you take a photo of the course, and then our AI will stitch all that together and it will create the course, all right? So the problem here is that this is all basically on one page. So when we try to take a photo of this, we're going to get all this other information in there, all right? So what I did was I just basically copied course A, and then I put that into another note here, all right? So you can see that here, all right? I'll just make that a little bit bigger. And then, so here's course 1. All right, I'll just take that out of there. So here's course 1, and then you can go and do course 2, course 3, and then, but give it some space, and I'll show you why in a second, all right? So basically now, we're ready to go. Okay, so we're good to go. Let's start scanning. Okay, so to access the scanning mode of SailPro is inside Tactician. Okay, and so everything really about your race, you know, so using it as a countdown timer, getting it to tell you how early or late the start line is, running the race, knowing where the next mark is, recording the race, all that stuff is in Tactician. So we kind of store it in there. Just think of Tactician like another person on the boat. Tactician is where you run your race, okay? And so we've got start here, which is where we set up the start line, we do time to distance, we do our audible countdown timer, start line bias, all that sort of thing is done inside start. But to do race or get our courses set up, we need to go into race because that's where we're doing it. We're doing it in the race, okay? So we jump into race and then we scroll down to the bottom, excuse me, we go to our settings here and we click courses, okay? And here is where we create all our courses. You can set manual marks here if you like. Just a quick note, you can actually set a mark directly from within inside race itself by just clicking the drop mark. If you want there, you can do that. But here we're covering scans. You can also, as I said at the start of the video, you can also import a CSV file. We've got the template for that. You can just basically populate that and import it. All right, but what we're going to use is the scan course. I'm going to click that, and then we're asked a question. Okay, so scan course, how are the sailing instructions laid out? Are they all in one place? That means, do we have the marks and their lat and longs and the sequence of those marks all in the same table in the sailing instructions? Or do we have it like in this case, do we have the mark coordinates are in one page or in a separate place, and then the courses are in another? And that's what we're dealing with here, okay? So we need to tell the AI that, all right? So we're gonna click that one there, and then it's gonna ask us, what format are they in? Are they in decimal degrees, which we've got? Are they in degrees, decimal minutes? So you can see here, instead of having the negative, it's got the S for the south. Or are they in degrees, minutes, and seconds? All right, so we need to select that. So we'll select decimal degrees. And then what will happen is SailPro will open up your camera settings and it will ask you to take a photo of those marks. All right, so we do that. Make sure we're focused in on it. And then click photo, okay? And then we've taken that photo and then we click that tick. All right, and now it's asking us to take a photo of the courses. All right, so I'm gonna switch into the course, and then I've got the course there, and then I'm gonna take a photo of it. All right, so I've done that, and then I click that. We'll just wait a few seconds. And there we go. The course has, let me move that. The course has been uploaded here. Now, a few marks have been skipped because in this one, if we go back into our notes here, why isn't that coming up? Sorry, let me just bring the notes up. Why isn't that coming up? Mac, come on, Mac. You'll see they've got a gate in here, all right? And there's no corresponding gate that's inside those markers, or the mark that they've been provided in that first spreadsheet, all right? So it doesn't know that, all right? But you can see, if we jump into the app, you can see it's marked it out. LM2, BH, JB, and then it's mapped all of those latitudes and longitudes from the spreadsheet through to here, all right? And then, so we've basically got it all here, ready to go. We just click load course, and then we've got the course there, okay? And then I'm gonna save that course. Oh, sorry, that's actually already been saved, okay? So it's already saved it, and then I just click apply, and then if I zoom out, now I'm a long way away from where this is. This is in Sydney, I'm in Melbourne. So we'll just zoom out. All right. And there you can see all of those marks are there. Okay. And so if you click start, if you run the race, all right, it'll start calculating. Heading to the next mark, the variation to the next mark, they're using the true wind angle, all that sort of stuff that SailPro Race does. It's now going to calculate it for you, all right? You can turn your ley lines on, you know, tell you when you're going to reach the mark. All that sort of information is now set inside it, all right? And so what I'll do is I'll just clear that course. Oh, I've got to end that. And then that's been cleared. And then if I now, let's say, for example, Saturday afternoon, I'm waiting for the course to know which course they're going to run. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, they put up the course flag. I can just quickly go to load course, click that, and my marks are all loaded into SailPro and ready to go. All right, so that's just how easy it is to do. Of course, like anything, right? It does take a little bit of effort to get all your courses up there, but once you've got them, they're saved in there, and so you can call them up, you know, just like that. In a moment's notice, course flag goes up, or there's a change of course. You don't have to sit there going through a book, all right? You can basically do that from here. All right. So just a few more things in courses. You can export courses into CSV if you like. And as I said, you can back them up or you can import them as well. So that's what we highly recommend that you do, is once you've got all your courses in there, back them up, because you know, you don't want to have to keep, going through it. finish up, there are just a few other things I thought would probably be important to talk about. Okay, so you've got, as you've seen, we've scanned the course. We've got our course marks in here. There's nothing stopping you from actually adding another mark or moving these marks around. So for example, if the race committee says, right, okay, we're shortening the course at LM5, you can, at LB, and then we're running to the finish line, you can quickly just delete that last mark, click apply, and then that will take that mark out of it, okay? And then you can also add another mark here. So let's say they do put a gate in here, or they do put something else in. You can come in here, set the mark, drop the mark, give it a name, new gate, and whatever, a note if you want to add it to it, and then save it, okay? And so it will then add that mark in there. So you can do those sorts of things inside. You can manually adjust the courses that are already in there. And so if I go back to the courses, then you can see there's that mark there, okay? I can move it around if I want. I can move that up to here, and that will change the sequence of events or the course. And so you can do that there, all right? You can also put a start-finish line in by just clicking here. So you can put the start line in here. We say P1, P2, P1 we always refer to as the pin or the boat, doesn't really matter, and then the pin, and then P3 is the correct side of the course. So we need to tell SailPro what the correct side of the course, and then the finish line, which is F1, F2, so you can actually put those in there. So if you have a fixed start and finish line, which many clubs do have, you can load those into here if you like, all right? So they're just some of the other features that exist inside SailPro Tactician, and specifically in the race, so where you can create races, store them, automatically recall them, modify them, that type of thing, okay? That's why we call it Tactician, because, you know, your tactician, they should know all this stuff, right? Your tactician should come to the day ready to know what time the start is, what the course is, what the starting sequence is, get the start time, and give you all that information, all right? And then have it right here ready to go. And in many cases, telling you audibly how to do it, or what the next step is. You know, tell you, all right, the next leg is going to be a true wind angle of 65 degrees, okay? So we're gonna be ease sheets. Let's get an outboard sheet, get ready, you know, all that sort of stuff. Be prepared. Oh, we're at the ley line, okay? We're at the ley line. Let's not sail any further. Let's tack, okay? So all that sort of stuff is inside Tactician. We hope you enjoy it. Again, if you got any questions, please leave some comments below, but reach out to us directly. We'll be happy to discuss it with you.